Hi there everyone! As you can see, this is another video where I will be sculpting something from Heroes of Might and Magic, because I love this game and I always wanted to have some figures or sculptures from this game, and now I have some skills to do it, so I'm going to do it. Anyway, idea for this one actually came from comment under my last video that said I could make one day Crag Hack standing on some beast head while laughing. Well, I totally forgot to make him laughing, but instead he will be screaming. Anyway, we can begin here with preparing for this guy. Off camera I've made already wire armature and pose for him, so we can directly jump into clay part, but still it's not making any shape or something. I'm just applying thin layers of clay so I can block figure so that it would move while I will be sculpting later. And also it's going to be easier to apply clay. And when I have already blocked figure with thin and hardened layer of clay, it was time to add some shape. Of course, I begin here with muscles, because maybe as you know already, this is my favorite part of sculpting. But also in case where I will be applying later clothes, it's better to start with muscles. Make them hard with hot air and then continue with applying another layer. Keep in mind that for now I will not be focusing on details, because I want to get more or less shape and proportions of sculpture, so later I can continue with details when I will be convinced with my work. When everything was good in my eyes, only for this moment, because later you will see I fucked up, I made everything smooth with isopropyl alcohol, and then I could take care of details. Now time to dress up a little bit our barbarian after heating up clay. Here I'm using really flattened piece of clay, because automatically it bends in the same way as normal clothes does, so win-win situation, because I get good effect with low effort, and after that I moved on with applying some fur on model. Here is also something that I tried first time, if we're speaking about fur, because mostly I was doing fur texture by painting, and here I've decided to directly sculpt fur texture, and in the end I was satisfied with the result. When this was done, I move on to the belt, so to the point where I made small mistake. And this mistake was to make this belt quite low on the body, so I've made illusion that his torso is longer, and because of that it looks like he has dwarfy legs at this end. At this moment it was too late to repair it, because I've also noticed it after baking. Well, what's left now is to keep that in mind for another project, and now we can go with other stuff. After main belt I move on with shoes and extra belts on his torso. So my other idea was no leave him fully naked. I have this picture in my mind from some fantasy games where heroes wearing one shoulder part. I mean, it's pointless of course, because still you can just get stabbed, but I have to admit it looks cool as fuck, so I've added this here also. And now it's time for hands. I have to admit I was struggling a lot. Normally hands are not my favorite part, but here it was really pain in my ass, and off camera I've remade it few times. For the axe I used some cheat, so I just used normal wood stick as handle. Well, I didn't want to struggle around, and sometimes I just accept small cheats. And here comes the main part of the sculpture. With this part I had reverse situation as with hands, because here with first attempt I achieved for what I was aiming. So barbarian screaming face, and I didn't have to struggle with hairs or something, because I just sculpted helmet and voila, face done. So now comes painting. Here you can see that I've already primed him with black primer. Actually I'm primering in 90% of cases with black, because it's easier for me to see this way where to apply highlights and midtones, and also you can leave some spaces that are not visible anyway, and they are going to be extra non-visible because of black color. I hope you get what I mean. Anyway, here you will see my first attempt at painting with oil paints. Mostly I use acrylics because they are nice because of fast drying time, and I wanted now to try oil paints. Big minus, good drying of this oil paint took me like 2 days. Anyway, there is not so much for describing of what's going on because you clearly see what's happening, so I will show a few shots of paint and we can move on with tiny background for this guy. So for the background or below ground, I'm making here some mixture of glue, sand, tiny stones and paint, and later just apply it on my stand for this guy. Here you can also see that head of the beast I've made of camera for Crag Hack as some sort of trophy. And for blood I'm using mixture of uhu glue and red paint. So here you have my version of Crag Hack. I have to admit there are some things that I'm not satisfied of, but in the end I like how it turned out. 7 out of 10. Big thanks to Drzazga Będzie Miazga for the idea and well, see you next time.